adultery. Let's talk.
Which we talked about in the Ten Commandments too.
But this is why, like, Ten Commandments was amazing. It was like, but it was, to me, it was like a little part, and Jesus kind of expands on every single aspect of it in the Sermon on the Mount. So what he says in verse 28 of chapter 5 in Matthew is, "But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart." It's basically saying, like, you look at a woman with lust and you're already committed to a woman, or even if you're not committed to a woman, you've already committed adultery, you know? And
just to give you a little bit of context too, a lot of people think like this view that Jesus is presenting is very extreme. Because they're like, that's crazy, like how can it be that that's such a horrible, like that's such a bad thing? Can we say a little bit more about that?
Think about it in these terms. If you had a girlfriend that you loved very much, and she saw you looking at her, and you saw, or vice versa, for genders,
significant other,
you know, why, like, if you would hide this from your partner, or if you would hide this from a future partner, then why are you doing it right now? You know?
Yeah. I also think that even though this is very extreme, I think Jesus is looking out for us here. I think that when you start looking at women and start desiring them for their looks, maybe it isn't a big deal, right? Maybe you're right. Maybe it isn't a big deal. But that's how things start. You start by looking at them, right? Then you start thinking, you know what? I want to be near them. And then you start getting closer to them, and eventually you start doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. Whereas if you would have just stopped before even looking at them, or after looking at them, because technically if you sin, whatever, if you look at them and you're like, you know what, this isn't right, like this is gonna lead me to a path of not good, because what is the good that's gonna come?
Cut it off as soon as you realize you're doing wrong.
Yes, and I think that is how you stop a lot of addictions from happening to you, right? Instead of you, I don't know, let's say drinking alcohol and trying it out, maybe you're like, you know what, I'm just not gonna do it at all because I don't need that in my life. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just saying that that's how you
personal decisions,
how you can stop addictions from happening to you. I know a big addiction too that a lot of kids and a lot of young people are struggling is technology addiction, and also like pornography. And these are things that, like, Jesus is saying, like, just cut it from the start. Don't even go further, because the more you go into it, the worse it gets.
It's gonna affect your relationship.